What's up, guys? I'm Wade here for Tables, Ladders, and Bumps, here with Marlon and Pierre. We are here to cover this last week with Raw and wrestling in general with our What's Poppin' segment. Then we have our three count, getting into some intense wrestling subjects. Particular one of them is going to be a heated debate, perhaps. Then we have our no hate, just debate. And I don't know if we have a tinfoil theory, but usually we do have that, where we come up with something super ridiculous, and people usually roast us in the comments when I post those. So, guys, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get the notifications when we posted another amazing video. And yeah, let's get into it with our What's Poppin'. And Marlon, I'm gonna have you go first.
Man, okay. So I was on Fanatics, they had a sale. I bought this,
Oh, that actually showed
okay,
up correctly. Yeah.
right? And I bought this.
Okay.
You know what I'm
That
saying?
that shirt's pretty sick. I actually might get that.
Okay, it's made of 100% polyester. I sweat like a foreign church on that when I wear that shirt. Dude, this guy gets injured. Ilya Dragunov gets injured, tears his ACL. This Ilya had the momentum. He was going to beef with the Judgment Day. He was staring down Gunther. Oh, 6 to 9 month recovery, typically, for ACL. I'm sad. When Wade told us the news last week during Raw, I was like, no, no. Michael Scott, no, God, please, no. So, what do you guys think about this? And how do you feel about Ilya Dragunov and what he's been doing?
uh
I'll go.
okay, go ahead, Pierre.
Like, no, man, I feel just like how you felt because, like, he was someone that I was like really, getting behind and becoming like a real fan of, like, and like just his interaction, like, he just seemed like a psychopath, like, no matter what. Like, he is 4 against 1 with the Judgment Day. He wasn't taking one no matter what. His matches are great. I mean, it just sucks that, like, he tore the ACL and it's 6 to 9 months, but I can't wait for him to come back. Maybe they have a new angle with him or something like that. But man, hope we get better soon, and then we just see what happens after that. But yeah,
The so in that episode I was watching it with my sister. She's never watched pro wrestling at all. This was for her birthday, so awesome birthday that I gave her, making her watch Monday Night Raw with me. And she kept being like, "Okay, who do you actually like on this show?" Because they're showing people. She's like, "Is that your favorite?" I was like, "Oh hell no, that guy sucks." Like I was just like, "Nah." Like, "Oh, you like Berg Person?" I'm like, "I like her. She's not that good. Like, maybe like top 15 for me on Raw." And then I told her, "No, you'll see the one guy, and you'll know right away that that guy is probably my favorite." And then they showed the thing of him being hurt, and my sister sees how upset I am. I'm like, "What the?" I'm like yelling at the screen, and she's like, "Well, that's just like an angle, right?" I'm like, "No, they wouldn't show it like that. This is real." She's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." She's like, "Oh, he got a standing ovation too?" And I'm like, "Yes, he's like the best guy." Which it's,
Oh man.
man, he had gotten so over with the crowd in such an organic way because he's just that good.
Yeah.
Um, I'm the one thing I'm worried. I hope he still has his athleticism because if you think
Yeah.
about like Seth Rollins post ACL has never been the same.
Mm-hmm.
His style was a bit more like fast twitch and stuff, but I don't know. Like, I just hope it doesn't, you mean, hinder him or like he's not. Oh, I don't even think he'll be scared to hurt himself again. He's kind of a psycho. So I think I'm not like worried about that because some people they'll think about their injury all the time and then like are too careful and then hurt themselves. But I'm just worried like it's gonna change the way he's able to wrestle. But if that's what happens, like I just want him to get an actual push because he was about to get one, and it was just off sheer will of him being awesome that he was getting over. There was no
Yep.
real push of it. He was losing all the time, but he was getting over because he's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I can't wait to see them turn this into an angle of him like doing the training videos and the rehab videos with all
oh
intensity.
yeah,
And he's like, I became what I was most afraid of. Just something like that where he throws out those one-liners where you're like, wait, what? Okay, you're cool. All right,
he's
yeah, that's it for me. Can you imagine him just like with that recovery?
yeah, yeah. He will. He loves pain. We know that from NXT. So uh,
He'd be like, "Don't give me the end. Don't put me out during the surgery."
I would
Probably
have.
never surgery
I
himself.
I
Yeah,
would have feel every cut. Yeah.
yeah.
You're not doing it right. It's capital.
Anyway,
Very
yeah.
entertaining. Uh,
Very entertaining. Yeah, that's it. That's it, man. I'm just upset about Ilya. So, yeah, that's it for me.
Pierre, what do you got for it?
I want to talk about Damian Priest, man. Like I feel like after SummerSlam, I think we talked about it multiple times that they've just been booking him really good. You know,
Oh,
like
Yeah.
he comes out, he's looking dominant, he's looking strong, he's looking like a beast, you know. And in the last couple weeks, I mean, even Monday, you're gonna get the Judgment Day. It's 4 against 1, but he's holding his own out there,
yeah.
you know. And I'm like, what is going on? And so that leads me to believe, like, all right, I've seen you be like crazy strong out there dominating against the 4 against 1, but when we come down to bad blood, it's still going to be 4 against 1. You know,
Yeah.
so what is the outcome out of that for Damian Priest? Are
Right.
we going to have some more crazy ref shenanigans or whatever? But I don't see how Priest wins out of this 4 against 1, no matter what. What do you guys feel about that? How do you guys feel about Priest booking lately?
Yeah, they're gonna get pretty creative, right? I mean, even with Rhea, it's still 5 against 2. Maybe 2.5 with Jey Uso's ever involved. But they're gonna get really creative. They're gonna have to get really creative for me on how Damian Priest is gonna overcome those odds, and I'm curious to see it. And I love how this is a non-title match too, even though there's no titles on the line. To me, I'm still invested in the story and in this rivalry too. So, um, I don't know how he's gonna overcome the odds. Honestly, what do you think, Wade?
I'm. I mean, he kind of needs to win, but I don't think it's the end of the world if you have three people cheating to like prevent him from winning.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think it'll be. Yeah, it'll be 4 against 1 because they won't have Liv get involved. I don't think. Um, you could have Jey Uso help him out. Maybe I could see that. Uh, or he could just be a boss, and or they could just kick out Judgment Day too. The ref
Right.
could always like because
Be
I've
a ref.
seen other people making predictions and they're like, how could he get over this? I don't know. The ref could kick the people out. Like it's kind of how it happens a lot of times. So I think they'll interfere a lot to get like a really good false finish where we think Finn's gonna win and then they get kicked out and then Priest just beats his ass is kind of what I'm seeing. But I think his booking's been really good. His promos are still not like super cool.
Spectacular. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's over though, and I like him as he's a very likable guy, but his lines are like super corny to me. But I like him a lot, so I just kind of let it slide. If someone else did said some of the things he said, I would be kind of annoyed. So like if LA Knight said some of the things Priest says, I would be like, please take the belt off of him now. So the fact that Priest can say it and I still want him to be pushed, I think he's doing a good job. That whole picture of like, okay, who's God forbid Sami Zayn ain't gonna beat him, but Gunther, I hope to God. But there's like a lot of people there. You got Seth Rollins, you got um which we're gonna get into and stuff. We got Bronson Reed, you got Damian Priest, you have Punk, Drew McIntyre. That's a lot of really good people kind of just hanging around a certain area. and I have no idea who's going to go after Gunther next after
Yeah.
this. So, and you even have Sheamus and Pete Dunne too. Those are all
Yeah.
Ludwig Kaiser. Like all those people are. Uh, and then the person I'm going to get into also coming up here. There's like a lot of really good people. I haven't even mentioned Chad Gable, who's beating people again. So that Raw has a really good upper mid card roster, I think.
Hmm.
That there's a bunch of people who go for a heavyweight title or intercontinental at any point, and I am into like all those matches pretty much, despite the fact that Jey Uso has the intercontinental. But I'm intrigued by, you mean 15 potential matches? That's
Hmm.
that's good booking in my opinion. And it would have been more if
Yeah.
you like Ilya didn't get hurt. So
Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker, yeah. Um, but I don't know. Any of you guys have anything else to say about Priest?
Nah,
No.
I like him. I don't know why I like him, but because those backstage promos or whatever. I just think when he's not doing a promo and he's having dialogue with somebody backstage, like I believe him. Like as he was turning to when he was like reprimanding Dom, or when he was reprimanding Carlito, like I believed him. I'm like, yeah, he's right. He's like a fatherly figure. He's a leader of that group. But his promos aren't. They don't cut it for me. But I don't know. I just like seeing him in the ring.
His
It's never disappointing to me.
his promos in the ring I think are good. His
Yeah,
backstage promos where it's him with
right.
like a fog machine, not good.
Yeah,
And I
no good.
cannot tell if it's him or the whoever the guy is writing this stuff. It's bad, but where
Right.
he has a unique cadence and just personality, and he
It's
kind of
true.
like not necessarily self-deprecating, but he's like seems pretty real out there when he's in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when he's backstage, he tries to be too tough, I think.
Yeah, I
And then
think
that's
that's
where
Yeah.
it
He
it.
becomes
looks,
a character. He becomes a character
yeah.
when he's backstage, and like you
Yeah.
say, in the ring, it's you can feel like it's more genuine and more himself when he's in the ring.
More,
So
yeah,
yeah.
more bisexual Undertaker. Yeah.
Yeah, you reminded me a few episodes ago. I actually talked about how Damien, with his cadence in the ring promo, he just talks like a normal person. He doesn't have to yell. He doesn't need a catchphrase or anything like that, and he still gets over, which to me is very impressive.
Cool,
And
cool.
that leads us into the person that I did not mention that I think has probably the best storyline going on right now on Raw, and that's Xavier Woods, who defeated former world champion this week, uh, Rey Mysterio, with a roll up. Nothing
It
bad
was all
about that.
clean, all
All
clean,
clean.
all
Okay.
clean.
Uh, but I actually like that match. It wasn't like a particularly good match. It was kind of sloppy a little bit in certain
Yeah.
points, but the I did not see them taking the route of, oops, I accidentally took off your mask, and then, oh, a pin's a pin, and then then doing it.
Right.
Like I did not think of that, even though it probably I should have, because that was the logically the best option there. But I liked how they did that kind of slight heel turn, and then it went into Kofi against Chad Gable, and he tries to grab Chad Gable's foot. I like that they're doing this slow turn, and he's one of the most interesting people on Raw to me right now, and I hope they go full heel with him. Um, the only thing I'm worried about is if they do all this and then he goes babyface for like, then this was all a waste in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But what do you guys think?
You want to go, Martin?
Yeah, I think he is still believable as a person in and out of the ring and backstage. Like his actions seem justified at this point because there's a lot of misunderstandings, there's a lot of miscommunications. And what I mean by backstage is like if I were to see Xavier Woods doing what he's doing in the ring, I could still believe him as a character when I watch Up, Up, Down, Down. Because his stuff is like what every one of us experience. It's like, wait, what did you say about me? Or like, what are you trying to say to me, really? And it could be just misunderstandings. So I believe Xavier Woods' character now more than ever, even when he was like the pancake throwing trombone, playing New Day.
Francine,
Yeah,
get in there. Francine, number two,
Francine.
number
Yeah,
one.
exactly. So I feel now he's more relatable to me. Um, and then I just have to add, you could thank Karrion Kross for all of this. So
Yeah,
yeah,
he's the
that's
goat.
it. Yeah.
Two heel turns because of Karrion Kross.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. What about you, Pierre?
Uh, man, no, I like the storyline with them. I saw something earlier where what if it's possible that not only is David Wood turn, but also Kofi turns too because of David
Mm,
Wood, and they go back to kind of being like heels, but more serious
Mm,
heels.
that's a good one.
Uh, because in the original plan for the New Day, they weren't supposed to be like power of positivity. They was room they put it at like the reincarnation of like the Nation of Domination. You know, this would be like black
mm.
guys they wouldn't get in the proper shot. And they wanted to try to take their jobs and careers in matters of their own hands and stuff. So I like that possibility, like what they're doing with his David Woods and this his backstage promos and in his interactions stuff like that. They seem so believable. Like
Hmm.
he is the Kofi Mania story.
Hmm.
You know, all this time without getting a single championship. Kind of been looked over all this time. He made the King of the Ring, but it wasn't really nothing because he
Yeah.
got squashed by Roman Reigns. And the guy can go in the ring. He has the talent, and for him to not have at least have like a little single title run for a little bit, even in the times where both Kofi and E been injured before. It's kind of been like you can relate and you can kind of feel sympathetic to what's going on with him right now. So I'm all for whatever happens with that. Um, do I necessarily want to do this to split up? No. So if it means that Kobe turns too and they stick together, I'm down with that. You know.
Why
But
don't
either
you want them
way,
to split up?
you do
No, why don't you?
because you need black unity in the community, man. We will get into that in 3 count. but no, I want them to stick together just because I've loved everything that they've done as a collective. And then I don't see what can happen with them separately, broken up. So yeah, I just want
Mm.
them to stick together because I like the New Day. I like what they've been able to do this last 10 years together as a whole. And I think they still have more work to do together versus them being split up.
Would have been way better if they Odyssey Jones didn't beat his girlfriend, because I actually liked that storyline a lot.
Seriously.
I was like, man, what the heck? You ruined
Seriously.
the like, but they've done a good job pivoting, I think,
Yeah.
from
Hmm.
but
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is cool. Like I liked what they were doing with him, and then he has to be a wife beater. So that's shame on him. But and for doing that and then also ruining the story. So
Hmm.
Yeah.
double
Stop messing up
shame.
my wrestling, people, man. Do what you gotta do. Stop messing up the wrestling for me. You
Yeah.
got The Rock going to go film random movies for no reason, holding up the bloodline storyline. I don't go on the rant, but this I just need people just to wrestle and act right at home. Just do what you gotta do, man, for my
That's
entertainment.
that's right.
Don't do drugs, don't get DUIs and stuff. Just wrestle and go home. Play some video games or something.
Yeah, get into Twitch streaming or 2K or something.
Yeah.
Well, most of them are nerds now, so we don't have to worry about it as much as
It's true.
before. But
It's true.
um all right. Next we're going into 3 count. Marlon, you had a topic?
Yeah, I loved the Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman rivalry up until the finish. And you guys can debate me with this. One, Bronson Reed didn't win. I wanted him to go over and put Braun Strowman under. Two, Seth Rollins interfered. I'm cool with Seth. I got no animosity against him. but I could have used a little longer break without him. And I also could have used Bronson, the monsters settling it between themselves because the only person who really ever interfered or tried to was the Miz, and he got squashed. So it's like I don't know how you guys feel about it. That's how I feel. One, I'm upset that Seth interfered, and two, that Bronson Reed didn't go over with it.
You can
What do
go
you guys
ahead,
think?
Pierre.
I feel kind of like the same as you, Marlon. Like, man, like we've been talking about Bronson Reed once again for the last like couple weeks. How like happy we've been with seeing the progression with him, the way they've been booking him, making him look dominant, like he actually has a role. And like we all knew that Seth Rollins was coming back to get the lick back. You know, like we knew that was happening. But he was in this thing with Braun Strowman, and it's been really good. It's been like a real highlight for me, besides the Judgment Day storyline on Raw. You know, so I'm looking forward. I was always looking forward to him. Looking forward to see the craziness that's going on between them, where they're throwing 200 security guards off the ropes or whatever the case may be, things like that. So I would like them to have settled it, and maybe Bronson Reed goes on to do something else. You know, maybe he goes to challenge Jey Uso, and then Seth Rollins interferes. You know, or something like that. But to have Seth Rollins come back and interfere, cause Bronson Reed the match, and it's like, well, I hope you guys didn't build him up just to tear him completely down again. So I don't know, man. I'm not really here for that ending for Monday. How you feel, Wade?
I disagree with both of you guys because I think the whole point of this, like anyone who actually watched that match knew that Bronson Reed was gonna win. You know what I mean? It's not like he lost clean to Braun Strowman. It's like, yeah, he took like considered one of the most devastating finishers onto steel steps. Like, yeah, that's gonna take out anyone. I mean, Seth has beat Roman Reigns with the stomp a few times, correct? I'm pretty sure. Um,
This is WrestleMania, yeah.
yeah, so uh, I don't know. It's considered one of the better finishers, especially if he does it on to an object. So if you're, and the other thing is too, are you really going to have timing wise? So you're just going to have Bronson Reed go against Jey Uso? Well, Jey Uso just won it like the week before. So does that mean are you going to do the flip flop, give it to Bronson Reed? Because that's really if you're going to have him go to Intercontinental, he has to win it, I think. And Jey Uso just won. You kind of have an issue there. I'm fine with him taking it off Jey Uso, but you two would probably be upset that Jey Uso lost it in like a week and a
No,
half.
I wouldn't want him to beat Jey Uso instantly like that. I would have preferred him to go out there, finish the match with Braun Strowman, finish that, settle that monster versus monster thing. He doesn't go beat Jey Uso, but he can go after him because that was the whole thing. He wanted to be his name out there, and then Seth Rollins interferes in that, and then now you can go back to the stuff versus Reed things for me.
Yeah, I don't think this thing with Braun Strowman really means anything. Like to be honest, like I just like I mean wins and losses matter, but it's like a weird stipulation. I think the issue was a stipulation too. It should have been false count anywhere or something like that. Last Man Standing is my least favorite like type of match usually. I don't really like it. Like Hangman and Swerve have like probably the best one ever, and there's no way Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman were gonna like sniff that jockstrap. So yeah, the I had an issue with the match that they used, but him having a feud with Seth Rollins is a bigger deal than him winning the Intercontinental title, in my opinion. So even if he somehow won the Intercontinental title, if he beat Gunther, that would be one thing. But it's been so diminished by having Sami Zayn have it. Okay, he's kind of cool, but he's not Gunther. Okay, then Braun Breaker, who just came from NXT, won it. Okay, now Jey Uso, who has had one like really good match in the last like 6 months, and that was for the belt. Like, so it's even Gunther brought it up to something really prestigious. I think it's already been significantly diminished. Obviously, not like how it was when Miz was winning it or anything, but it still doesn't have the same value. Seth Rollins was in the main event at WrestleMania just what 6 months ago, less than that, against The Rock and stuff. So having a major feud, Seth Rollins' first feud since Mania, that's a huge deal, and this is going to be a big thing. And this is, even though technically he lost this last match with Braun Strowman, it doesn't matter, because Seth Rollins came in and ruined it. And then if this leads, he loses upwards, that's a good thing in my opinion. So we've seen people lose upwards plenty of times. Gunther just did. He lost the Intercontinental and then he's now world champion. So I don't know. I don't think it's I didn't care. Like, I wanted him to win, but whatever. Like,
Yeah.
a feud was I don't even like Seth that much. I feel like I like him the least out of all three of us. But I appreciate Seth as someone who can have a feud with someone. Like, that's a big deal. A lot of people like him a lot. I don't, but I
Yeah.
can I know that he's really popular.
Yeah, he is. I feel like both they could have had their cake and eat it too. I feel that if Bronson Reed still won, had his 15 seconds of glory, and then you see Seth come in with a kendo stick or something to get him down or vulnerable and then curb stomp him, it still could have played out the
Freaking
same way.
kendo stick, dude. No way.
Whatever.
That'd be way
Whatever it is.
cheesier. But yeah, like
He still could have done what he did after a Bronson Reed victory.
yeah. The match doesn't even mean it. What is it for? Pride of being big? You know what? Like,
Yeah.
they had a few, but
Monster of all monsters, because it was
Yeah.
monster versus monster.
it's not like the Carmelo Hayes and Andrade thing where they're like legit doing like crazy matches 7 times. Like, that's a okay, whoever wins that, I'm like kind of intrigued by that because they've had so many matches. This is like they've just beaten each other up and slammed people onto the cars and stuff. And it's fun and entertaining, but I don't like I'm not like, man, Braun Strowman beat Bronson Reed. He needs to get a world heavyweight shot like right now. Like,
I'm not saying that.
he's going to be off for a while. I think his knees are messed up.
Yeah.
He looked like
I
he could
think
barely
I want to
walk.
say it tore his groin. I think he tore his
Groin.
groin.
Oh, he tore it?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what I
Oh,
heard.
he's out for like a
Yeah,
Yeah.
while.
That's a slow recovery.
Yeah,
yeah.
that is I feel bad for him. Okay. Dang. I've just pulled mine before and it
Hmm.
I was out of
Yeah.
commission for a long time. So, but that kind of leads me into the next subject, which it's a similar thing because Julia, she's been brought into NXT. She's the next, you mean, big thing, and she lost to Roxanne Perez via someone interfering
Interference.
again.
Hmm.
So I again, Cora Jade is the one who interfered. I'm totally fine with the finish, and I'll go into why, but I know a lot of people are upset about it. And Pierre, I know you've seen some Julia stuff. I know Marlon's been freaking grinding watching Julia matches recently. So I'd like to hear your guys' opinion on this, and then I'll kind of go into why
Are
I
we
feel
talking
like it.
about Julia so far or Julia in that match? Like what aspect of Julia are we talking about?
Both with an F.
Okay, both. uh Julia so far has been mediocre at best overall. I believe it's in the way that they're presenting her and booking her. That match, I haven't seen all of that. I've only seen highlights. I need to watch all of it. Before I say what I thought about that match, I will say that I went back and watched every Julia versus Megan Bain match
Oh, I
that there
bet
is
you
out there.
did. I bet you did.
uh yeah, they're They're really good. They are really good. Very different from not only WWE, but even more so NXT. So, based on what I saw from that match and combining it with the Chelsea match, she's just got to get used to the style. I don't want her to. I wish there were a
Yeah.
way that she could still be her with like the strong style and the yelling and the constant screaming. I like that. Uh, but those were
Bro.
good. Those were good matches, all right. But I feel like if there's a way that they can adapt her properly, I don't see the adaptation happening yet. So that's what I think. The presentation has been lackluster, and the wrestling style has been unmet so far. What about you, Pierre?
Um, so I think I don't have a problem with the finish. Because for someone like me, she's new to me, you know. So it's like I want to learn. I didn't do the research and the science to go back and say, all right, well, this is who she was. This is where she came from. So
I
I know who
highly
she is
encourage it.
now.
I highly encourage it.
I'm gonna try to. So now it's like, so who is she? So she comes in the NXT and then she instantly wins the title. I mean, it could be something like someone like Ethan Page from AEW,
Mm-hmm.
but I
She's way
like the
better than
idea
Ethan
of her.
Page.
All right,
Yeah.
I like the idea of her, now having to go back and now you can maybe try to build her up even more so.
Yeah.
Like her just coming in off the hype from, wrestling purists or just knowing who she is. But now what about you guys on CW and now you got a bigger audience, you got Allstate Arena, you know, and now y'all gonna be traveling. And now so maybe this is a way to build up the character of Julia even more so by having her lose like this and now make her way back up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so uh I think both of you guys have really good points with like Marlon, you've watched a lot of her matches, and this match wasn't, I don't think it was bad. A lot of people, some people hated on it. I thought it was fine. Her and Roxanne doesn't really have bad matches. I think they've tried to change her style a little bit too much. Like she's not hitting hard at all, which is kind of the thing with her that's awesome, and with the like Joshi wrestlers in general. So I don't know if they kind of talked about this on like what culture. Like, did someone tell her, "Hey, your hit don't hit as hard, like you're gonna like
Right.
break someone's clavicle or something," or what's going on with that? Or maybe that's something they're gonna build up into. I mean, I'll be real, her promos are not good. Or she doesn't have very good English yet, which is to be expected. Like that's why she's in NXT and not in the main roster yet. The other thing that like people are kind of ignoring, you have Stephanie Vaquer.
Yep.
Like just if Julia just came in and it was only her, like I would still be fine with the Cora Jade thing, but it would bother me a bit more. But I think Stephanie Vaquer is way closer to being ready to move up to the main roster than Julia is.
She's already wrestled technically, right, on main roster because she did those house shows, those two house shows.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I don't count that at all because they're not televised. But she's been in like American pay-per-views though,
Mm-hmm.
and I think her English is a bit better. Like you could always have a subtitled thing and stuff, but I just think they're, yeah, I just think she's closer to being able to it carry things over from the to the American style than Julia, who all her stuff is like hitting super hard and wrestling super snug, and she might she might have to make an adjustment. I hope there's like a middle ground where she's still hitting hard, but not, you mean I'm gonna knee you in the face as hard as I can, and I hope you keep your teeth thing. Maybe don't do that until you're on the main roster in WrestleMania or something, then lay it in like Charlotte Flair saves it for her. But yeah, I think the whole Stephanie Vaquer thing, that's why they need to do this. She's way closer to being ready, and I'm interested to see what they do with that whole picture. Like I like Cora Jade, but one of these is not like the other, and it's Cora Jade. She is not Roxanne Perez, Julia, or Stephanie Vaquer. She's fine and has like a following because people like her look a lot, is how I will say it. But like she's not the
She got new
in-ring
hair, right?
person. Huh?
She got new
Her
hair.
hair.
I saw a picture with
Yeah, yeah, new
2021
hair.
changed her hair.
That's
Yeah,
really what
That's what
it
it is.
is.
she changed her hair. The other comeback, she had something else changed too. So, um, which like, what I actually like her character. I think she's a pretty good like she's a good. She can do heel. She can do babyface. But and I like her. It's just you have like three of the best women's wrestlers in the world. I would put Roxanne up there, but like you have them each in their own element of where they're really good. They're like three of the top, I mean, 15 probably.
Mhm.
And that like I'm being conservative with that. Like it could even be like top 10. Like they're all really, really good. So I don't know. I'm fine with it. And I don't think that she's earned that spot. It's
I agree
Asuka
with that.
coming in. It's like Asuka was like not an up and coming Joshi wrestler. She was probably the best Joshi wrestler, female wrestler ever, or some people would say. And then came into NXT, and it's like, yeah, you got to push that girl like to the moon. So I don't know. People act like she's never going to win a title now because they had her lose. So I think she'll be okay.
Yeah.
Um, now now we're getting to the big guns. Pierre's got a good topic. Uh, for the 3 count, what do you got, Pierre?
All right, so I know you guys have seen the commotion about how I guess the last three PLEs there hasn't been any black male talent on the shows, and it's causing I guess a little some commotion out there in the Twitter world, or the X world, or whatever, in the wrestling community. So I guess I wanted to get you guys' thoughts first, and then I will go back with mine.
Marlon, you go first. White guy go second.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the first one to talk about this.
I mean, if you're referring to a certain post, they're saying how like they don't the person who is saying it said who is going against the original poster's argument was saying that they have to deserve it, right, to get the spot.
Earn it, I
They have to
think.
earn
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
or deserve it.
but I think like
Uh,
that came from something else.
mhm.
So I felt like, well, I saw the first thing post about there hasn't been black male talent in the last three PLEs, and then it seems like more and more people are commenting on it, and so this
Yeah.
stood out to me. What was that? What we about to talk about?
Yeah, with the male thing, because I'm just trying to think of who on the roster fits. So you have Montez, Dawkins, Bobby
Melo.
Lashley. Bobby Lashley, if we're talking like previous PLEs or just this year, right? Mello.
He's the last black
Hmm.
champion, right? Singles champion, Bobby Lashley.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Oh, Moss is gone. Like, oh, and they have Adonis, Apollo Cruz. I'm just trying to think who was on the roster. Apollo Cruz, um, Cedric
Xavier
Alexander,
Woods, you got the New Day people.
Xavier Woods, Kofi.
Say like 10, maybe 10, if that.
Yeah, around
Karrion Cross.
Cody. Cody.
Cody!
There.
What the
Settled.
heck? Yeah, Cody Rhodes. Cody Raheem Rhodes.
No, but seriously, out of all those people who I think a lot of them do deserve or have earned
Hmm.
a solo run and a belt and a title chase. Especially Montez. You guys know I've been talking about Montez for a
Yeah,
long time. And watching the Bianca Montez TV show, whether if it's scripted or not, maybe it is a sentiment of him just being discouraged about how he's not getting his solo push, and Bianca just trying to keep him encouraged because she was the number one draft pick, right? She's
Yeah.
in every PLE pretty much. So I feel that Montez, out of anybody, he definitely has earned it, but also they can really do a better job putting these guys in the spotlight. Um, it may not mean anything, but I like Apollo Crews with Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I like that group.
I hope that
Like,
goes
well,
somewhere because they could
Oh,
both
we
go.
Carmelo Hayes. I don't think we mentioned him.
Oh, like Carmelo Hayes. I hope he does. I know he's new to the roster, but he could win a championship and carry it easily, especially the
mm,
US title.
He's the best
So
booked black guy right now, I would say.
mhm.
Carmelo.
yeah, yeah. But go ahead, Wade. That's how I feel, Pierre. There definitely are people, a handful of them who definitely have earned it. Which I would need to think about if earned is different than deserved. So yeah, go ahead.
My thing is when you start like factoring in, it's like, okay, well, we're not including black women in this because they are getting booked a lot better. So
Yeah.
like,
Mhm.
it's like, well, no, we can't include black women. All right, because that would hinder your argument. So
Mhm.
now, okay, only black guys. And it's like, okay, like there's periods where it goes one way or the other way. There's been periods where more minorities have had belts than white people even in the
NXT.
and you look at NXT, like we're like now it's the only white guy is the tag belt, right? And it's one
Yeah.
white, I guess Spanish guy. I don't know
Nathan
how you
Frazier.
Nathan Frazier and Axiom who wears a mask and he's Spanish or whatever.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's you have the world title Trick, North American, Obafemi, who are those are
Mhm.
like two of the biggest and I think brightest star. I think Obafemi more. Women's, you have Roxanne Perez, and then you
Ilani.
have Kilani Jordan. So, like with the actual singles belts, there's not even one white person has one of those. So I don't. I think some of it is just there's times where you have an influx of you mean talent of a particular you mean group, and sometimes you don't. There's a lot of minorities who have had belts recently, like I mean Priest. You have Nia Jax. It's like Samoan people. I mean, they always have the belts, but you kind of look at it's. I think there's an ebb and flow. I think since Vince left, I think he booked a certain look and type of an African American wrestler, and then that's not exactly the type of character that Triple H like goes for necessarily. And those people are in NXT, I think. But
Hmm.
I don't think like Triple H is like racist because there's a lot of like minorities that have had success.
Mhm.
That's exactly what a white guy would say.
I mean, like you just
Okay.
look I like if you just look at the stuff like I mean
No,
whatever
it's
like
true.
someone could
No, it's
yeah
true.
like it's
Yeah.
not like
I
maybe
mean,
he does only like maybe he likes black women and not black guys. I don't know. But like the black women have been you mean pushed you mean decently well like Bianca some of it was Vince like slightly involved but Bianca has the longest singles title reign
Mhm.
and she's black. So I don't know. I think yeah if I'm like you only look at one gender and one race, then you could be like, well, why aren't they doing? But Montez is the only person out of everyone we listed that I could see win like a world title out of that
Mhm.
group.
and Carmelo.
NXT, I don't see Carmelo as a world title guy, but NXT, I could see Obafemi certainly. I see as a WrestleMania main event world title guy. Trick Williams, I don't know, but I could see I would put both of those guys on. And Xavier, I think, should win Intercontinental. If he does not
Mhm.
win Intercontinental in the next year, I think we really have some things to talk about. I would agree. But I think his storyline right now is one of the best in WWE, which to me, I care more about that than having a belt. Like that you're actually, because we're saying, oh, he doesn't know how to book black guys, right? Is that was
That's
the
Yeah.
that's the
argument?
yeah. So I
But
don't
I
think it's more
think
so like belts. I don't even think it's more so like them having a title. I think the thing was them being booked
And
properly.
PLEs.
Yeah.
And I think Xavier Woods is being booked really well. I think that is one of the main storylines on Raw. I think that
Mhm.
is one of the best things. And I think that on SmackDown you had the whole Bobby Lashley group that was an epic failure, I will say, and booked terribly. I don't even know what their purpose
Oh,
was.
with the Street Profits and Bobby Lashley?
Yeah, and
Mhm.
I think
Yeah.
some of that was okay. They were kind of pushing him. Well, then Bobby Lashley, and then we're in contract negotiations, and then that kind
Hmm.
of halts that whole push of that group. He
Hmm.
leaves. He looks like he's going to AEW, and now those guys are now they're starting to like rebook them again once it's official that he left. So I think that was kind of a it doesn't look good, but I think that hurt a lot of the any of the development of
Hmm.
those guys in that push was that they were in that weird stable, which Triple H booked terribly, I will say. But then Bobby Lashley's contract thing kind
Mhm.
of put a halt to a lot of that stuff.
Hmm.
So, but that's just me, the white guy, saying that. So I don't know.
Um, like honestly, during this whole time, the last three PLEs, dude, I didn't pay attention to it because
Hmm.
I was into the story. I was into the storylines of what was going on, you know. So the New Day stuff was just brewing. It was just starting.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't even at that point yet, you know, to even get them even on the PLE. If we were gonna get Xavier Woods versus Kofi Kingston, you know, like that, or even get Xavier Woods into a PLE type match. So far, if there was any one of black guys, I think that probably should deserve to be on the PLE. I would have liked to have seen Melo versus Andrade.
Yeah,
Just have a match.
Yeah.
I
I
agree.
I think that would have been that's either main event SmackDown or at least open match for a PLE. So I think that
Hmm.
would have been deserving to do that because they've been killing it. So I think you
Hmm.
should reward them just by cooking this last six matches. You know,
Yeah.
that's probably been some of the best matches that people have been having on the main roster,
Hmm.
um, being consistent with it, you know? And so as far as like everyone else, like we look at the people on the main roster, you got the Prophets, Dawkins and Montez. You got Mello. You got Apollo Cruz all on SmackDown. You look over to Raw, you got R-Truth. Who else we got on there?
I
As far as
freaking
Black.
forgot about our truth. I totally
Yeah.
forgot. Yeah.
So and then also who's on Raw? That the New Day. So you got three on Raw. The New Day are tied up into a tag team, and they're going through this thing where they had Odyssey Jones, but then that fell through. You know, so some stuff seems it was be booking properly, but other things outside things are happening to derail that. Um, you look at R-Truth. R-Truth is R-Truth. Like he's kind of pigeonholed himself into a certain character that he's always going to kind of be. You
Hmm.
know, like I was a little disappointed that we got the Miz turn instead of maybe our Truth turn. That would have been something different. I'm so used
Hmm.
to Miz constantly turning. You know, I wanted something fresh. Not necessarily to say that that had to happen. It would have been good, but it would have been nice to something different. You know,
Yeah, it's
uh,
true.
but right now, they'd be like, man, they're not booking black talent or black male talent on PLEs and there's some agenda to it. I don't feel that way. You know,
Hmm.
is it something along the lines that maybe certain guys aren't getting booked properly?
Yeah.
I could agree to that. You know, like that Street Profit match versus the DIY become number one contenders. That was a great match. You
Yeah.
know, and
Hmm.
I would have wished they would have run that back again. You know, but now you have involved the Profits in some way into the Bloodline storyline. You know, so now they entangled in this, and now they have a tag team for a ladder match for Friday. You know, so
Hmm.
they could be back on top of the tag team division with the belts.
I hope so.
So that's a plus. If
Hmm.
we head over to possibly Monday Night Raw, we got Xavier Wood versus Jay Uso next week for the IC
Hmm.
title. I don't think Xavier Wood's going to win, but he's in a big match again.
Hmm.
You know, and so that's good. And when was the last time the New Day has been relevant as far as like instead of them just being enhancement talent for other guys? Like
Years.
they have a decent
It has been
storyline right
years.
now, and
It's a
that's
great
good.
storyline. Yeah.
You know, and that's real good. Um, so I mean, I don't could they be booked better, but it's not a lot of black talent on the main roster like that to put them in main events. So it's like it's I don't know. It's hard to really say. You know, when you
Me,
have when you have like the Judgment Day storyline as a big thing that takes up a lot of Monday Night Raw, you head over to SmackDown, you got the Bloodline storyline. Cody Rhodes is a big thing that takes up a lot of time. You have these two big storylines that fill up the show so much, and now the remaining talent is left to with just minimum tick to try to take your shots when you can get it, and it's hard out there, you know,
Mhm.
especially when you don't have a good storyline. So luckily, they say Xavier Woods in the New Day storyline, they've been able to build something with that. Carmella Hayes has been able to do great things with Andrade, you know, and Carmella Hayes has the promo skills too on the microphone. Like I like his interactions, his one liners. He told him, "Put the fries
He's
in the
such a
bag, man."
dick.
You know,
Yeah. He's such an asshole.
what he did to LA Knight on Friday night was one of the best things I've seen. When he
you know,
like blindsided him and just kept walking.
yeah, I got something for you too. You know, so like this, and so I think it's on that matter of time we see Mello on a PLE. You
I
know, I think that's
wish.
coming up. You know, real soon.
I
Once he gets
wish.
some pyro or something like that, I think it's to the moon for him.
Mhm.
they
Oh,
But
the
that's how
ish
I feel about
he was high in the draft, and they put him up against Cody like the first night.
that
Maybe
match
a
was
little bit
terrible though.
premature. Maybe a little bit
Yeah.
premature,
He almost
but I
hurt
mean,
Cody, which was an issue, but I
yeah.
I think yeah, I the other issue is
it.
they only have like 4 or 5 matches on a PLE too. So it's like
Yeah,
because they do these short pay-per-views that like it makes it so difficult. And when it's
did
like,
get on the card. Yeah,
yeah, they're gonna have at least 2 matches or in every PLE are either Judgment Day or Bloodline. And
Bloodline.
there's
yeah.
no black people in either of those groups. But a
Yeah.
lot of minority is just like not none of them are black. So
And then
that's kind
also, I
of like
mean,
except for
we
The
also
Rock,
been
I
talking
guess.
about the women's division too so much.
Yeah.
Like the women get 1 or 2 matches for Monday Night Raw or SmackDown. You know, out of 3 hour show or 2 hour show, they get represented in one way, and it's because it's rarely any like single matches. I mean, you had the one with Naomi
Yeah.
and Bailey, but for the most part, it's always like you go to Raw and it's PFC versus the whoever combination
That
tag team you got.
that
You
booking
know,
is that yeah, that booking is worse than the black male booking, I think, is the female wrestlers on Raw. It's like the worst booking I ever seen in my life. It is so bad.
so I think
But
there's complaints all the way around that you can look and see at different things, and I guess you can say, well, at least the women get on the PLE, right? They're represented in some way, whether it's Rio or Liv or Nia or Bailey or something like that, or Tiffany Stratton. You know, you get
not
to
on
see them.
Raw though, really. Not the
But
Raw
then,
ones usually. Yeah.
so I get, all right, we see no black males on PLE, so I get that, you know, that too. But I sometimes I just don't enjoy wrestling. You know, I don't want to make it more than I like to use wrestling as an escape from everyday life. And
Right.
so,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
if wrongdoing is being wrong in wrestling, then that's wrong, and we should address that. But I don't want to go looking for wrong doing
Right.
if there's not
Yeah.
necessarily anything wrong. I just want
Yeah.
to enjoy stuff.
Well, I heard they're changing DIY to DEI.
Now, Pierre, now I know why you have the red beanie on. Because you didn't well, yeah, it's I think some people just like making you mean like sometimes I think some stuff is just like I want to get clicks on or like
Rage bait.
Yeah.
like money on Twitter by posting this thing.
Mhm.
Not saying like again, I'm not saying it's not a problem they couldn't do better, but there's been a lot of circumstances that have led to
Like
not
creating problems.
yeah, creative issues where like
Yeah.
I forgot even about I brought up Odyssey Jones earlier, but that's a huge that was like part of the
Yeah.
storyline and they adjusted pretty quickly and I feel
Within a
like they
week. Yeah.
Yeah, like they pulled an audible on that, like way better than normal. But yeah, I honestly think the whole Bobby Lashley thing, I think there was a lot of stuff backstage with negotiations and stuff that we don't know about and may never know about. But I think that probably well, Street Profits were basically barely on anything for almost 2 months, right? Until it
Yeah.
was official that Bobby Lashley was leaving. Then all of a sudden they're booked again. So
Yeah.
I just think it's been kind of bad luck with some of the stuff, and you have the two big storylines, and that's 50% of the PLE at least
Mhm.
every time. So yeah. But anything else, guys? I don't think
No,
we got
man. That's
canceled, so I think we're all right.
not yet. Not till we air it live.
Not yet. Someone's got to Photoshop a white pointy hat on me or something. But who had who was the no hate just debate today?
Well,
I
hey,
have
my
the
pinball.
topic. Oh, and Pierre is the tinfoil.
Oh, okay. And yeah, guys, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think there is an issue with the booking? Do you agree with us where you feel like you mean, some issues that kind of led to the booking kind of hitting a lull? Or are we racist? Let us know in the comments below.
All right. So this week on my tinfoil theory, we got the wires popping back up with the cryptic messages again.
Oh
And
yeah.
we gotta try to put on our Batman capes and pointy ears to try to decode what's happening. And what I'm feeling is they could be going after the Miz next. But then it's like, all right,
Huh.
well, the Miz is just by himself. So maybe that might not work. Or it could be Woods. So I got three possible suspects that the Wires could be going at targets. That the Wires could be going after Miz, Woods, or the Final Testament. I saw someone on IG where
Hmm.
Karen Cross was mentioning liars. And then I saw the same kind of verbiage from the Wyatt like promo or some QR code or whatever. And so that might be a good thing. You know, you got Final Testament with Karen Cross, AOP or AOP, you know, and Karen Cross, and they can match up with the Wyatts in some form. So that might be something that we can get in the future. I don't know how well it's gonna go, but
It'll be so
I, it could be terrible.
bad.
It could be worse than Black people being booked on the PLEs. But that's what I got for as like targets for the Wyatts next.
I unfortunately think it's Xavier Woods, and it's gonna stop him from winning the Intercontinental title, which is gonna like make me kind of mad. And
Yeah.
it's gonna be the second person in a row that I've wanted to win the Intercontinental title that the Wyatts attack. Because before it's Chad Gable, and now it's gonna be uh Xavier
What
Woods, and then we'll have Yeet Master Yeet still with the Intercontinental title, driving me crazy. So no, I didn't even. Oh, I think the Karrion Cross one would be. I like Karrion Cross and Final Testament, but like to laugh at, I don't. That
Yeah.
feud would be. That would not feed families. That would
Right.
cause a famine.
Right.
so
Uh,
we're going to go into the debate?
yeah, let's go into the debate.
Yeah, we could do one round each. It's not that much serious of a topic, and we'll just extend it to a minute and a half each side. Would that work?
Okay, that's cool.
Um, Let me think of a number here. All right, number 1 through 10. Who wants to go first?
Well, 5.
Here.
7.
It was 4.
Hell yeah.
All right, so based on the topic, you get to choose if you want to which side you want to argue for, and then the second person gets to defer or go first.
Okay.
Roman Reigns should be in the Royal Rumble. It'd be better off if Roman Reigns were in the Royal Rumble or not.
So one person's saying that he should be in it, and the other one is saying he shouldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say he should, I guess.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh,
Or
yeah, you go first.
unless you really want to.
No, no, no. It's
I
fine.
don't think you care that much. I don't like. I could have gone either way. Like to be honest.
Yeah, just because I've been seeing whispers that like Roman's gonna win the Rumble or Roman's gonna
Oh hell no.
supposed to
Okay.
win the Rumble and then Rock's gonna interfere, all of that stuff. So these are just people putting stuff
Well,
in the
don't give away
comments.
my thing.
Okay, all right, all right, all right,
Yeah.
all right, all right, here we go.
Can I start?
Let me get on the clock. And what the hell just happened? 1 second. All right, minute 30, one
Oh,
shot
minute
each.
30. Oh, one shot.
Yep.
Damn. What is this
All right.
M&M's thing? All right.
All right, here we go. Go.
Roman Reigns needs to be in the Royal Rumble. We've had multiple years of him just being in a match during the Royal Rumble. We need for the Royal Rumble to be top tier again. It was okay last year. It could be a lot better, and nothing would make the Royal Rumble better than having Roman come in at 30, almost win, and have The Rock come in at 31 and take his ass out. So have you have Jacob Fatu, just random people come out and sabotage him. I'm all for it. I think storyline wise, as much as I don't want to admit it, the main storyline is still the bloodline. And that should be the main storyline within the Royal Rumble match. That's what I want to see. I think that's what everyone will want to see. That will get the biggest pop. That'll get the biggest social media like views, and that's the best way to bring The Rock into the fold for Mania. If you have The Rock get involved like too much, like you can't have him wrestle a full match or like Elimination Chamber. That'd be terrible. So let's have him have the easiest option, and that is a Royal Rumble.
10 seconds. Good.
I stand.
Okay. All right. Let me reset this. All right, Pierre. Ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Go.
Even though it would be nice to see Roman Reigns back into the Royal Rumble again. Like I said, he's been absent from it for many years because he's been champion because he's just that good. Um, I think Roman Reigns has surpassed the title. You know, like he doesn't need the title to be the tribal chief. He doesn't even need the Udo Fowler to be the tribal chief. He doesn't even need to win the Royal Rumble to be the tribal to be number one contender because he's just that good. He's Roman Reigns. You know, like you feel the aura when he comes out. So even if he's not, he doesn't need to be in a Royal Rumble because man, I want to see him go through the bloodline and elimination chamber, run the gauntlet of the bloodline and elimination chamber. Yo, put all of them in there against Roman Reigns, like he had them in the steel cage, you know, and he closed the door behind them. It's like, yo, you guys, you guys aren't here with me. Like I locked the door, and you guys have got to deal with me. You know, like I want to see that aspect. Like I want to see the tribal chief arrive, wreck shop, and wreck everyone and just leave. You know, so I don't want to see him in the Royal Rumble. I'd rather see him go through the elimination chamber. And The Rock, we can still get that same interaction with The Rock coming out. You know, The Rock can still come out and interfere in the chamber, you know, and cost Roman the match. And then we can still possibly get that Rock versus Roman matchup at WrestleMania. I feel like either way, we're going to get Rock and Roman in some match at some point.
Bam.
So it doesn't need to be The Rock coming in number 31 at the Royal Rumble to stop Roman Reigns.
Dang,
It could be.
you guys both had good arguments. Both had good
Yeah.
arguments. I mean, yeah, Roman is a moneymaker, and obviously so is The Rock. So to insert them into the Royal Rumble, I think would be definitely drama. But at the same time, he doesn't need it. Like he may be past it.
Yeah. I think
Dang.
just like it would be cool. The elimination chamber would be way cooler for The Rock, I think.
Hmm.
I
Mm.
just physically I don't
Right.
I don't see how he does that because it's harder to like smoke and mirrors that I think compared to the
The
Rumble where you're
Rumble.
just throwing someone over the ring. But I don't know. Pierre, I
What if
think
it
yours
be
would be
something
cool as
like?
hell.
What if he be something so like, well, you get all the members of the bloodline in there is versus Roman. that last person is injured or whatever. So that one pod is empty. Roman goes to the whole run through everyone, eliminating people or whatever. And then that last person that comes out is The Rock, you
He
know? And
comes out through
then
the floor like HBK did. Isn't that what HBK did?
I think
I
it's
don't
something
know.
like that. Or it's just
Yeah.
like when Logan Paul did. When someone opened the cage or whatever and he came in and he had Seth Rollins and laid him out.
Yeah. Yeah. That could work.
Because once again, he still makes the rules. He's still the boss. He's the final boss. So he can do
Mhm.
whatever he wants. You know, he can make whatever rule he wants to. So if I don't want to be in a pod this whole entire time and waiting, I can do like Roman did during the pandemic when it was
Mhm.
Braun Strowman versus The Fiend, and Roman
Mm.
came out in like the last like 2 minutes of the match, speared and then pinned and won the championship.
Mhm. Yeah.
So
No, I like, you guys, again, you guys both make good sides of the argument, but I'd be interested in the creative side of what Pierre is talking about. So, yeah, I'll give it to Pierre.
Thanks,
we
Church.
got the fan shoes though. We got the fan shoes. If they don't think we're racist, they let us, they might start rocking.
Yeah. Let us know for racist, and let us know who won the debate in the comments below. That was our podcast for Tables, Ladders, and Bumps. Uh, and yeah, guys, we look forward to hearing from you. And we will be doing a watch along for the
Bad blood.
PLE, Bad Blood, we think. Barring someone's computer exploding or something. But yeah, it looks like we're gonna do that. So it should be pretty fun. And yeah, let's watch it there, guys. Thanks.